So hey everybody, and welcome back to Hart Talks. Well, yes, you're right, I have a man in my bedroom, but don't be rude, it's not like that. Today I have a guest on Hart Talks, and this is Alexis Gregory, and he's an actor and playwright, and I'm going to pass over to him to tell you what he's here to talk about today.
Thanks. Well, I'm thrilled to be in your bedroom, Stephen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're here today to talk about my play Riot Act, which I created. I interviewed three men, survivor from the night of the Stonewall riots, an underground radical drag artist from the 70s, and an ACT UP AIDS activist from the 90s. Michael, Lavinia and Paul, and I play these three roles, and we are doing a special performance of the play in the West End at the Duchess Theatre on November the 26th, and it is in aid of the Dean Street Wellbeing Programme. It's a World AIDS Day special. All the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds will go towards Dean Street. And you can buy tickets, they're on sale now. £23.50, which is not bad for a West End show.
I've got mine.
You've got yours, great,
yeah.
Great. I better make sure I'm good and on top form that night if you're there, Steve.
So basically, this show is... I saw it at the King's Head Theatre in August, and it was the hottest day. Do you remember? It was the hot. Sunday.
Yeah,
it was. I was sweating, and Lexi was on stage giving this performance of three men, and it covers a 60-year period, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it was just. It made me cry.
Oh wow! Okay.
It made me cry, and I think that's important as an actor, because I think to affect your audience is what we do, is what we want to do, isn't it? So can you give us just a bit of a rundown about Riot Act?
Yeah, so I also created the play as well, so I'm a playwright as well as a performer, and I interviewed three men. I interviewed Michael Anthony Nosey, who is one of the only remaining survivors from the night of the Stonewall riots. He was 17 on the night of the riot itself. And found himself in the middle of the riot on his first night in New York. He had gone to New York to study acting. Then I interviewed Lavinia Co-op, who many people will know from the drag troupe Blue Lips from the 80s into the 90s. And so Lavinia really talks about radical drag and what that means, and talks about London post-gay liberation front. So it kind of follows on from the Stonewall story, and Lavinia references a lot about London, things happening in London post what they were hearing about in New York 2-3 years earlier.
Yeah.
And then I interviewed Paul Burston, who was a prominent AIDS activist from the 90s, and all three stories go into the present day. So they follow Michael's life as a 17-year-old kid to a 65-year-old man. So each story goes into the present day, and then I feel that the piece itself goes into the present day. We start on the night of the riots, then we go back a bit before the riots, but we essentially start on the night of the riots, and we finish in London and kind of in America in 2018. And with the craziness of the riots, the craziness of our world today.
Alexis also wrote a play called Safe, which deals with LGBTQ homelessness, and which is a massive thing, but we don't I don't think we realise that it's such a massive thing.
25% of homeless and at-risk youth identify as LGBT in the UK. It's around 30% in the States. In London, 70% of those young people are from ethnic minority backgrounds. So everything that I write is very much untold stories, characters that are living on the fringes, untold stories from within hidden communities that are hidden in the first place. So I kind of go in a bit deeper. Safe and Riot Act are two verbatim plays. I should make that clear about Riot Act. It's created word for word out of my interviews with those three men. With Safe, I explored the lives of four young people, and a gay woman, a gay male, and a trans man and a trans woman, and explored what led them to being in the situation they were in. And then I've written two plays that are not verbatim, called Slap and Sex Crime, that was on this year. So I kind of have two different styles of working.
Yeah. Sex Crimes is very different from Riot Act, isn't it? Yeah.
Which I hate to do the same thing twice. I always like to try completely different styles. And there is kind of like a thread that runs through. A lot of people who've seen a lot of my work, they'll say, God, it's so different, those two projects I've just seen, but I can still see they come from you. So I think that's really interesting.
So we've spoken, obviously, Lexi knows that I had a one-man show. So, you know, there's a connection there just in knowing what it takes to put on a show, to work it, to deal with everything that comes with it. So I was very careful about my story. I wanted to stick to my story. How do you honour and... Because I think honour is the right word, because those people that you're telling their stories, those men who are alive and here, you know, so how do you honour them and do it correctly, you know?
I guess I just have to try and tell the truth as best I can. All the men that I spoke to, I always check, and in fact it's part of Riot Act itself. There's a moment where you see them having an exchange with the interviewer where they're saying that they can use anything that they've just been told.
Yeah.
So I always check that they're happy for me to use all the information they've given me. Me interviewing gay men, there's an understanding there already, I think. I was really honoured that someone like Paul Burston, who's a good friend of mine as well, says, you know, I trusted Lexi, I've seen his other work, I know that he tries to tell these stories as truthfully and respectfully as he can.
Yeah.
You know, Lavinia, I went to the Vauxhall Tavern because I knew Lavinia was performing that night, even though we'd met a few times over the years, and I kind of grabbed Lavinia before the show and said, can I interview you for this project? And Lavinia was totally up for it.
Yeah.
So everyone was so generous. Michael, Anthony and Lavinia. Michael I interviewed twice via Facebook video because the first time it didn't save. So I was like, Michael, we're going to have to do that all over again. And he didn't mind. He was like, yeah, let's do it.
There's a big part of the show that is America, set in America, obviously Stonewall. How would you feel? Could you imagine doing this in New York?
We've talked about doing it in New York.
It would be...
I'd love to do it in New York. Yeah, and of course 2019 is the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots.
Yeah.
So there's been some discussion.
Okay, so watch this space. You never know. So as an actor who had his show in a small venue and then went off Broadway, and now somebody else here is going from the King's Head Theatre, which was a great space for it, and you're going to the Duchess Theatre.
Yeah.
So it's, how are you feeling about that?
I'm really excited. I wrote the play really for the King's Head Queer Festival, so we had an amazing start there with the journey, and this has grown, this opportunity of doing it in the West End. It's really exciting to be doing it. 100% of the proceeds are going to the Dean Street Wellbeing Programme. We have Fidelity International Board as our sponsor. West End Theatre, it's selling really well, which is really exciting. A lot of people are coming back to see it. A lot of people are bringing friends. It's a play that people really want to engage in. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I went on the website the other day and there are very few tickets left. So if you want to see this show, and I suggest that you do see it, get your tickets booked fast, because really, I don't want to freak you out, but you know, there were about 20 seats left.
It is selling quickly.
It is selling quickly.
And that mostly happened in October with social media, God bless social media, and word of mouth.
Yeah.
So in November, once the publicity really starts kicking in, we haven't really done any press on this yet. We had a great advert in Boys Magazine. We've got some really nice press coming up. We've got a really big advert coming out. There's some radio and stuff like that. So over November, it's going to really sell. So don't leave it too long.
Don't leave it too long. That is a warning. So as an actor who does stuff that's hard-hitting and stuff that people might not talk about, do you find that you get a lot of... backlash isn't the right word, but just feedback and a lot of people's stories and a lot of, you know, I found I didn't come off stage and the show was over. There was still, you know, so how has that been, you know, as an actor? How has it been to deal with that? And how does Lexi relax and chill out? And, you know, so what, you know, tell us a bit about that.
What would relax, chill out? What does that, I don't understand that concept. What does that mean? That's a foreign language to me.
What is that?
No, it's really interesting, especially doing something like Riot Act. So a lot of people come up and say, I've never really heard anything about Stonewall. I know about it, or I thought I knew. And we're living in an age now where information is shared all the time. You just press a button and you share the information online, and it doesn't mean that what you're sharing is correct. And we have this story from the night of the riots from one of the only people who is still alive. Lavinia's story is like it's like almost like a TED talk on the history of drag, and of course drag is massive at the moment. And I remember when I started going to clubs in the 90s, drag was having another massive moment then, and Lavinia quite rightly points out that it goes in cycles. A lot of people want to come up to me afterwards and speak about their experiences of living with the virus, losing friends, what happened to them in the 80s and the 90s. So it's a real conversation opener.
So relaxation just doesn't happen.
I still don't understand what the word means. I'm just going to look it up. Sorry, it's. I have a vague remember of what it maybe used to mean.
I'll put a little explanation just here a bit. Okay, yeah.
And it is a multi-theme piece, like you said. It's not just about Stonewall, HIV activism, drag. It's about family, addiction. It's about being a young gay man. It's about being an older gay man. It's about the taboo subject of aging and what that means in the community. It's about intergenerational friendships and relationships.
There's so much, isn't there?
Yeah, it's about as well a community that comes together and a community that fights each other. And I think we're seeing a lot of that at the moment as well. There's a lot of kind of friction within various groups in the community too, and unfortunately that's not anything new.
No.
The play was published as well by Oberon, which is really amazing, and a lot of people, it was really amazing. They didn't just buy one copy. A lot of people brought two, and they brought a copy to take to a friend, or they said, I'm going to put this in the university library or in this archive. Like, my friend works at this archive, I'm going to make sure it's put there.
Yeah.
So
it's important.
It's really amazing that people want to take away some of these stories as well.
Yeah.
And digest them.
Yeah.
Because a lot happens in that hour.
Yeah. Well, I found, that I had to tell my story because I was always told not to tell it, and in a way I kind of feel, not to say that your characters have been told don't tell, but just these stories are desperate to be told.
Well, we are told don't tell. We're told every day don't tell your story.
Yeah.
We're told consciously and subconsciously. We're told why are you talking about that with a gay theme, or there's enough gay stories out there, or people don't want to hear that. We're silenced all the time in explicit and implicit ways.
Yeah.
So it's a real kind of act of defiance and a real radical act from Michael, Lavinia and Paul to be so honest about their lives and how complicated they are, because people often think they want somebody's life story. I want to know about them, but they want it on their terms.
Yeah.
These three characters tell the story on their own terms.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the quick fire round now. So we're going to get to know a bit more about Let's
Don't
See.
ask me my favourite Madonna track, because I can't. It's just too painful for me. I can't cope with the high level anxiety.
You have to pick one. No, I
never
wouldn't.
have said it.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't
Don't
do that
to
you.
me.
So okay, so now you have to answer these questions straight away.
Okay.
So you don't have a lot of time to think about.
So I don't
them.
have time to lie.
No, you don't have time to lie. No, it's got to be automatic.
Brutal.
So favourite holiday destination?
Oh, I've just come back from St Lucia, and that was really lovely. And then I was in Berlin, which was very different. So I liked it in both of those places.
Okay. If you had to be a golden girl, which one would you be?
Oh, who's the slutty hoary? I mean, no.
You want to be Blanche. Everybody wants to be Blanche.
I think I'm like all of them.
Okay.
I never massively got into the Golden Girls, but I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's...
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sometimes I have to change this and ask for Sex and City.
Yeah.
So you'd be Samantha. Is that what you're saying, actually? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm only just saying that just to be frivolous.
Okay, you're more Dorothy. Is that what you're saying? She's the upstanding good girl.
One who comes in with her really cutting lines every now and then.
Yeah.
Make of that what you will.
Favourite food?
Oh, God, anything that's heavy in carbohydrates. I'm like half Italian. I was brought up on pasta and spaghetti. It sucks.
Favourite musical theatre show?
I'm not a massive fan of musical theatre.
Okay.
You're shocked to hear.
Or favourite show?
I tell you, my favourite is Cabaret.
Okay.
I love Cabaret.
Yeah.
I also love Hedwig. And I like Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, I like anything that's kind of subversive.
Yep. Favourite diva? No,
How
Diva.
can you
Diva
ask
can
me
be
this?
anybody or any, you know. So favourite Diva. I
Oh.
wonder who it's going to be.
Well, there's several though. Are we gonna? Can I put them in categories? Okay, I have to answer this quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go like, Diana, Patty, Shaka Khan. Then we kind of have Kylie. We have Madonna, and then of course, Sandra Bernhard's in there too.
Yeah.
They're my ultimates.
Yeah, you've got
I'm
some
old
divas.
school.
Yeah.
But,
I like.
Yeah, but these are the good quality ones.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's no debate.
And last but not least, favourite alcoholic drink.
If you force me to drink champagne, I'll suffer. I'll take one for the team.
Okay, well, Lexi will be drinking champagne on the 26th of November after he does his one-off show at the Duchess Theatre. As he said, it's in aid of the Dean Street Centre.
Dean Street Wellbeing Programme. It's a special World AIDS Day performance. And can I say where they can buy tickets?
Yeah, sure.
NIMAXtheatres.com. NIMAX Theatres with an S. NIMAXtheatres.com. Directed by the wonderful Ricky Beadle-Blair, who has helped me and mentored me throughout my career as a playwright.
Ricky's amazing. And also, as Lexi says, remember December 1st is World AIDS Day. Get your red ribbons and go and see his show. I'm sitting in the dress circle in the front row.
You come and see it again?
Yeah,
Oh,
come and
great,
see it again.
great.
I'm sitting in the dress circle in the front row, so I'll be the one be like snotty and slobbering.
I'm glad
you know.
you're seeing it again.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting the play and thanks for inviting me to have this chat with you.
Not at all. It's been great having you on the show, Lexi.
Thanks.
So thank you, everybody. Please remember to like, share, comment and subscribe. If you have any questions for Lexi, please put them in the description below. I'll make sure he gets them. If you want to know anything about Riot Act, and also if you've got any questions for me, please put them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. Thank you from me and
thanks for watching.
thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.